There it goes. I did a quick little deal thing last night.
I saw it was good.
I was bored. It was late. I knew it was going to be.
Is that a real deal, that duplex?
It sure
You
looks
sent it
like
to Catherine?
it. No, I didn't send it to Catherine,
Yeah.
but yeah, it looks like a legit
If you
deal.
remember, I'll have her take a look at it. Because we got 3 buyers, new buyers now.
Oh, good. Welcome to the show. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Rob, you got here by boat this morning, right?
You know what? I actually get it.
It took a year, but you got it.
I finally get it. Like, everyone's like all freaking out. And like Tuesday, I was like, what? Why isn't no one in at this event? And then last night, Wednesday night, I was like, really? No one's rain? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And then last night, we left Dickinson around 9:20.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me about 2 hours to get home. And it was terrifying. It was like driving through Studio 54 in 1976, where it's just nothing but strobe lights.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe the lightning wouldn't stop. I was just like, it's not stopping.
Yeah.
And then I came up on, there was just a big wreck on 45, and I caught the trail end of it. There was just big chunks of ice laying on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So the hail must have moved through and just blew everyone in. Like, there was 20 cars on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And trucks, and then they went off and they slid down the grass. Now there's 3 tow trucks there. I was like, oh, okay. And then my windshield wiper could not keep up.
Yeah.
Now I get it. The Texas, when you buy the Tundra, right, and it has the Texas version,
Yeah.
you guys must have an extra speed
Yeah.
on the wiper blade. That's what it must be, because I can't figure anything out. Like,
And
why
they
is
are
that
lifted.
Texas?
They're lifted a little bit.
They're lifted a little bit,
Yeah.
and the wiper goes a little bit faster, and that's what the Texas version is. Now I get it. I've got to go get myself a Texas version Jeep so I can actually see when I drive.
Yeah.
And then there's a knucklehead just flying right by me. I'm like, oh
yeah.
my God, look at this guy.
That's me.
Yeah.
It's like,
In the court, no less.
yeah. Just going straight down. I'm fine. We drive through this all the time. I had to get rescued the other night, because I had to leave the car in the parking garage, and I was like, hey, can you come get me? Because this thing's too low to take through the neighborhood. So here comes the wife from Tundra, picks me up. So, in any case, we are here. We're still getting a good lightning show here from the studio.
Yeah.
We want to do a wrap-up of this week. We're going to talk a little about commercial lines of credit and banks. We went with a banker yesterday. Really interesting. Just sent me an email. How she got on my email list, I don't know. She didn't know how she got on my email list. And she sent me an email and said, hey, let's do some of those apartments you keep buying.
Right.
And I said, okay. When do you want to meet? Thursday sounds good. So we sat down for about an hour Thursday. And
This is great.
it was great. She explained what their business model is and what we do. And I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Young bank,
Very young bank.
which I thought was pretty cool.
4 years this month, right?
I thought it was 8.
8 years, yeah,
Yeah,
8
8
years.
years,
Yeah,
smart.
right in the middle of the recession.
Yeah.
They bought up failing SNL.
Mm-hmm. So they did a little turnaround project. So
Yeah.
built failing SNL, turned around to this little community bank. And I think it's fun, too, because a lot of these community banks, they hire folks like bankers that are in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So they know all the
Oh,
little
she knew
businesses.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dentists, the doctors, the chiropractors, everyone.
So so that's going to be a ton of fun. They have one loan product. When you really get down to it, they got one product, right? Which is pretty cool. This is typical.
Well, they have 3,
That's right. Yeah,
but the other 2 are tapped out.
that's right.
And they don't want to go anymore. And that's the, when people talk about that scariness about, hey, I've been buying all these houses. They're totally, they got tons of equity. You walk into the bank, you say, hey, I want to go buy 20 more houses. And the bank says,
No, we're done.
we're done. We're good. Our portfolio's tapped out. We're not buying any more of those asset classes.
Until there is an occupancy factor with local banks.
Yes.
So when the party gets full, like we can't take any more part. We're
That's
full.
it. Yep.
We're done. Until somebody leaves. It's like a busy restaurant. Sorry, you're going to sit there until somebody leaves.
Exactly. Yep.
So if you're the hotel guy, sorry, we're full up
We're
on
full.
hotels.
Yep. C-stores.
Yeah, see,
We're done.
if you're gas stations, if
Mhm.
you're multifamily, if you're any of those things, they just get full. And like, okay, we're done.
Not that you couldn't bring them good deals.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they're saying. Like, we're not judging the deal. We're just saying, as far as our portfolio goes, where we put our investors' money and the money that we leverage from the Fed, this is all that it's going.
Yep.
We're done.
We're full.
Yep.
All full here. So,
but we're not full on small apartments.
That's right. They said, we like them.
We like small apartments.
I said, really? We talked to some other bankers.
No one else does.
Yeah. Said, oh, no, we love them. We absolutely love them. Right here in Houston, in the major metro in Houston, we'll do them. I said, okay, we'll send you some over.
She knew the neighborhoods, right?
Mm-hmm.
She knew the counties. She was very specific, master of her region.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah. She was very knowledgeable. She even ripped a wholesaler deal, right?
Oh, yeah.
She had a wholesaler deal in front of her. She's like, "This is not going to be 100,000 repairs."
Oh, that was pretty funny.
Oh, that was great.
When the banker is she's like, "Who's this guy?"
Who is this guy?
I won't say who the email is from. She's like, "Who's this guy?" There's no. My daughter just rehabbed a house, and it was way more expensive than that. We were like, "Yeah, they're kind of fibbing their number there a little bit." So that was kind of entertaining. But the best part is when let's go back to talking about Merrill Chandler, who was here from Credit Sense, and Jessica. And Jessica Gunslinger.
Yeah, Gunslinger.
So we were talking about the different FICO scores, right? The different FICO scoring models. And so we sat down with the bank yesterday. We said, hey, what FICO model do you use? And like, that we use Experian. And we're like, no, which
model?
Which model? Are you using 8, using 9, using 3, using 2, 3, 4? I mean, which one is it? She goes, I don't know. She just looked at us like, whoa. Had that look on her face like, I hadn't heard this before. Right. These guys sound like they kind of know what they're doing.
And she knows the world because she's like, I have to pull your credit.
Oh yeah,
right. So she understood that world and what they have to do with using that FICO model. But she'll get us close enough. Hey, if she's using Experian, that's fine. We'll just run our scores and we'll take a look at that before we make a commitment to the bank. But the terms were good.
Yeah, I like the terms.
I mean, they're real, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no 100% financing, all this nonsense. It was, we'll give you 80 of what you need.
So on the advance rate, that's what they call that. How much will they advance? They'll advance 80%, which you'll typically hear, oh, we're 20% down.
Mm-hmm.
So that is true. When you first start working with a bank, or working with any lender, hard money lender, private lender, all that sort of stuff. When you start having those initial conversations, we're just feeling each other out, right? I mean, this is a coffee thing.
Yep.
And then you start to do a little dating. Then, okay, it starts getting a little more serious. They see that you're bringing in some deposits. They're seeing dollars coming in, dollars going out on a handful of projects. And all of a sudden, that advance rate goes from 80 to 85 to 90 to 95 to even 100% in some cases. I know there's some hard money lenders here in town that have advance rates with banks at 100%, which means they are literally just arbitraging 100% of the dollars that's in credit line.
Beautiful.
Yeah, making piles of money.
It's a great model. Yeah.
So,
but there's still someone to have to answer to, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but you've got to build that relationship. So, I've got a really interesting relationship. I got a text message last night from somebody we work with said, "Hey, you need to call this guy."
Right.
And if I had spent my career going from cheapest guy to next cheapest guy, I would have never built all these relationships over the last 6 years. And I wouldn't be getting text messages about, hey, call this person. They want to have a conversation with you. Or, hey, there's a wholesaler out here, that's interested in selling you a deal.
We, at this very point right now, we are working with 3, let's call them brand new lenders. Mm-hmm. And we're not calling them new because they're underfunded or any of that stuff. They're just new, right?
Yeah.
And so you can tell when they're new because the terms are just like, I don't know. It's almost like, it's like buying a car, that really long contract you get. Like, that's kind of, I feel like they're bringing to the table. And I'm like, guys, you're making it a little complicated, but what you're asking for is unrealistic, right? Mm-hmm. Let me show you what we get from hard money.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready to beat this, then why would I use you, right? Yeah. But we go through it, and we give them everything they want on the first deal. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll give you that rate. No, not a problem. We'll do the monthly payments. That's fine too. You want a PG? I'll give you a PG. Mm-hmm. And everything. But the second one, we're going to have the real discussion.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But usually on that first one, and then, of course, we understand what they're also doing with their money because they'll tell us, hey, I've I'm doing a ground up project.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this. And I'm like, okay.
I hope those guys know
Hope they know what they're doing, because the guy who just was flipping and now is deciding to do ground up may not be the best ground up investment for him, or loan, which we really need to classify.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting down at the bank is a much different discussion, right? And being able to sit down with them and say, hey, this is what we do. And they're like, yeah, we funded 800 of these deals.
Yeah.
We understand the market. Amazingly, you're telling me 850 rent. I think you're probably going to get 865, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just some really tiny minutia that they get down into. And then you can have a better conversation with the bank and start that relationship.
What I thought was interesting yesterday's conversation is you knew they were doing all well. First of all, I like to go into a banker's office and see files everywhere, because that means they're doing stuff, right?
I love that.
I'm like, okay, business is getting done here. I like this already. And then the second thing I really liked is when we had a conversation about, hey, I've got an investor that does X, Y, and Z in this area of town. We're like, hey, we know where that property's at.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And then we were talking about the Montrose one. Yeah, and then there's this, and there's these apartments, and this RV park. And so we started having conversations about collateral that they've already lent on, which is good. Like, they're familiar with the collateral already. So when we bring something to them, they go, oh, yeah, we funded one 3 years ago that was, a quarter mile away.
And, now we have a knowledgeable lender, right, which is really important. However, just like the brand new lenders out of the Quest room or the clubs where they come to, we're just going to fall in where they that's fine. It's only 5-year term. That's fine.
Great.
It goes into the long term. No problem. Whatever you want, because we're good partners.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 3, loan 4, loan 5. Hey, maybe just put this in front of the committee.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just lay it all on the table. Like, okay, guys, if you really want to roll out another $18 million in loans, like you said you do, then let's take a look at some of these projects.
Well, I think the conversation with them is, because they will go outside of Houston. Just it depends on the collateral, and what I think she was really saying really depends on the borrower and the manager, right?
Yes.
And so I'm sitting there in the back of my mind. I'm like, all right, I'll get you 2 or 3, and then we're gonna have a lot of Corpus Christi discussions.
Absolutely.
And in fact, we might take you and maybe the senior loan officer down. We'll put him in the Airbnb.
Put him in our little Airbnb.
Show you what we got going on down here. We get back from the break. We're going to talk more about commercial credit and banks. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. This is the song right here, boys.
What's that one? I'm not listening to
Whole Lot of Love.
Oh, nice. How much time on this one?
2 minutes.
No.
Yeah, she gave me permission to look for other music. I went, thank you. As long as it's clear from the licensing. So. One minute.
How are we doing on that?
I was looking, I'm like, man, our viewership's kind of low. And then when I rolled out of the house this morning, Sarah said a lot of the schools are canceled. So I think there's some people sleeping in a little bit. Schools are canceled. So I think there's some people sleeping in a little bit.
My dogs were sleeping in. My one dog did not want to get out of bed. Even to eat.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to tell you, this was a rough week for me.
Heck
I
yeah.
got 11, 15.
10 seconds.
But I like getting them all done in 1 week.
It is pretty sweet, isn't it? Just banging them all out.
All our commitments.
Was Jet there last night?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Michael's, where we're at, Michael's going to be.
Oh, okay.
He's a rock star, dude.
Is he?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Did Michael talk about the deal he funded for us with Jet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Probably got up there and said, these guys were in a real pickle.
He actually lets me speak.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
oh, that's good.
Yeah,
okay.
I for sure do some great edification for you because I like those guys.
Yeah, good group.
And they sponsor us, and they're yeah, for sure, right?
So,
hey, but we're talking about commercial banks, and we're talking about commercial credit lines today. We just had a whole week of Merrill here, which is pretty amazing. You know, and we went a little hard on the banker yesterday for pulls, the credit pulls, right?
Credit pulls.
But as I was driving home last night, in between the sheer panic attacks, and white knuckling, I could literally see my white knuckles. Remember that credit pull is one of 40. Remember, there's 40 things on our credit, right? Yeah. So it's one of 40. So I'm sure there's a way around that. Remember, he said 10% variant. So we're going to always give that one away.
Yeah.
So now we only have, we got to hit 3 of the remaining 39. No more than 3 of the 39 can we fail on, right? And I don't. She didn't quite understand what we were talking about, but we knew what they were when they roll out the end of the program and looked at the our scores. We knew what they were going to be looking at. So it's really good to be armed with knowledge inside that commercial bank setting. We know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so we kind of knew the secrets more than a little. I'd say more than her. Not to say she's not insanely knowledgeable, but we understood how the credit system worked, how the pulls are going to work, how what they're going to look for, and all these other things. So it felt good knowing that. It felt good knowing that, and then her recognizing that we were certainly a little bit above her average knucklehead real estate guy. Right?
Yeah. Well, and it's one of the things we've got to work on, and we'll do it with the 27. We ought to do it with the 13 too. Go ahead and we need to build the project notebook where here's, the stories of 10 or 15 of these things. And just drop it off and say, here's all the stuff we've done the last year. Here are the great deals we've been buying. Here's how we've been a good steward of other people's money.
Yeah.
That's really the story you're trying to tell. Here's where I've been a good steward of other people's money and made them a lot of money in return.
Yeah, absolutely.
And protected the asset, because that's always important.
That is the most important thing, protect the asset. And, we had those, I had those 2 flood houses that we're dealing with, but I protected those assets all the way through. And we're rolling both those out, and we are happy days.
Yeah.
Happy days, right? So protect the asset for sure, protect other people's money. That's when they understand that that's what we're in business for, that's one of our guiding principles. We should get access to capital.
What's so funny? Real estate's one of these interesting industries where when you raise money, you're the last one to get paid.
Exactly.
Which is unlike Lyft and Uber and all this other nonsense.
Oh, my.
We're the last ones to get paid.
And I got it. Boy, so I was in it all in 2008, 2009, 2000. I was in all of it. Right? I mean, I was out there on the street trying to raise money for these big retrofits on condos and commercial buildings and industrial buildings. And right when capital gets tight, there's this little scam that happens. There's a guy who says, hey, I can find you that $4 million you're looking for, but I need to get paid up front.
Ooh.
And I ran across so many of those guys. Never paid once. And typically, I know I was part of 2 deals where they did pay. And exact same thing happened. Guy says, "Yeah, well, we're a group, a consultant, and we're going to set your profile up. Does all that stuff. It's $25,000, and they only have one source, right? But they'll say typically the terms are going to be 6-7%. So you do it, and of course and they guarantee you a loan.
Oh, so the term sheet comes back.
Comes back. It's 9.5%, 4 points. It's like, this is hard money.
This is crazy. Yeah.
I could have at the time we were in Vegas. I could have went to Sam.
Yeah.
Sam's a big hard money guy out there. Just going to want Sam, and Sam would have gave me 3 and 12.
Yeah.
But it would have had much better terms.
Mm-hmm.
So when that capital drives up and there's no relationships, you're susceptible to those pariahs out there in the marketplace. And we talk about credit scores and profile and numbers and putting our Dropbox together of all the information. It's still, at the end of the day, what kind of relationship can we have with her?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And if it does go bad, even if in 6 months, if the credit market dries up, we at least have 5 or 6 bankers we know who will tell us nothing's happening. But when it does happen, they'll be the first ones to call us, right?
Yeah.
And so having those relationships with these local banks, which we're loving at this point, and if you're listening or if you know someone who is a local banker, commercial bank, we're doing small apartment buildings from 5 to 100 units. That's a small world. We'd be happy for any introductions.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to be able to sit down and talk to someone. We know that Giovanni has given us some contacts and some other folks. So we've got to follow up on those meetings, but we want to build those relationships. We want to find the one that fits the best and get those moving,
Yeah, because everybody's appetite for risk changes over time, right? And so most of your real estate investors out there that are doing apartments, they'll do one deal a year. They're kind of done. And you really don't – I think it's difficult to establish a business relationship when you're doing one every now and then. And it's not impossible, but getting to work with a handful of folks and spreading the deals around to a handful of other bankers and commercial brokers and those sorts of things, it pays dividends in the end. It's the classic, if I was always shopping for the cheapest price, my business would look a lot like Walmart. Like not Walmart the business, Walmart the actual store, right? Where it's cheap Chinese junk all over the on the shelves, right?
Plastic stuff everywhere.
Yeah, and if you want your business to look like that, that's fine.
Right.
But you better make it up on volume. And I'll tell you what, I haven't met a real estate investor yet that can make it up on volume. Nope. Each one of these deals are unique. They're all different. They're different parts of town. They're different levels of distress. They have a different tenant base. I mean, it's all just different stuff. So having a relationship with a handful of these guys and gals is ideal because their appetite for risk is going to be different.
And you'll get to know that. You'll get to know what the banker's risk are, what the profile, what they lend with. 1, 2, 3 conversations, right? Mm-hmm. And that's that relationship building. Mm-hmm. I wish Merrill will get you. When he comes back, he's bringing someone out from Louisiana that has the $3 million credit line with those guys.
Oh, cool!
It's like a bona fide student who went through and got $3 million. But even then, we've got 8 on the board with another 15 to buy. Yeah. So I'm sure Merrill will get us a couple million, but we still have to start relationships with commercial bankers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And then we'll talk about some of the terms that we work with her. It was really interesting that when we started digging in a little bit where she was at, and some of them were very favorable.
Oh, absolutely.
Very favorable. But there's always skin in the game.
That's right. There's always skin in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. In state.
It's a 4-minute break.
Yeah, I think it's still. Christine wants to know if we should still go, and the answer is yes. Right? We're taking your big truck.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Sarah said all the schools are canceled.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Everybody.
You know what that means? Summer traffic.
This might be a day where people actually listen on the radio. That'd be cool.
Oh,
right?
That would be cool, yeah.
Every room we go to is like, how many know we're on the radio? And people raise their hands like, how many listen on the radio? Everyone's hand goes down. It's like,
did you ask that last night?
Yeah, like, I'm on Facebook. Hands go up. I guess it's not, obviously.
Well, the other night you had a few.
Yeah. It's a few.
That wasn't on the radio.
Yeah, I made an observation last night. Why isn't Chandler in every single room here? Why doesn't Phil and Chanel have him? Why doesn't Fortune Builders have him? Why? And the answer is He doesn't pay enough. He can't get in Ray's room. He can't get in the. I don't even know what the girl's name, the wholesale queen.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
He can't get any of those clubs because they want half, and they want him to have at least $1,000 purchase. They won't let him in the rooms.
Interesting.
But he's the most important guy in the room.
That's right. Yeah.
And then next month, the second or maybe Myrtle finds you money. Casey's going to get you deals coming because of relationships. And he's at $47.
Yeah.
They don't want him anywhere near their rooms because they can't make money from it. How horrible.
Oh, it's awful. Well, these clubs don't really operate as, we're all about teaching people and bringing them in, and it's going to be great. Man, you don't give a shit about that. You care about a check.
Yeah.
You want to get a check.
Like I said, when the room becomes units.
Yeah. You want a check. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a check, but you are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You're missing the
serving your customers.
Yeah.
You're not serving. McDonald's says X billion served. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
served,
units,
not sold.
Right? Yeah, not units.
Served, not sold. Well, and it's George and I were talking about this the other day. It's like, if you're in this business for anything other than deals and money, you're not going to be successful long term. He's right. AC and I were chatting about that one day. He's like, dude, I just want the deals and the money. I mean, getting paid doing the education stuff or running the clubs is just kind of a side benefit. Puts a little money in your pocket, that's fine. But that's not where you're going to make your millions.
Yeah, like the guy I had lunch with yesterday. He's like, what's the education about? I was like, I just meet people.
It's just it's a dating service.
I do a $97 class. How could you not come?
Yeah.
And then they come in and I find out if they have deals or if they want to lend or if they know people and just expand my network.
Yeah.
He's like, gotcha. Yeah.
One minute.
Like, we give great content.
Yeah, that's when I heard all that, I was getting all that backlash about, quote, competition. I'm like, you don't even understand, dude. You do not get it. I'm looking for deals and money. Hell, that other Port A deal. I was looking at that last night. I'm like, write it up.
I think there's room to spare there.
There could be, but
and maybe we'll just do a full inspection on it and work it that way.
But still, it was a 13 cap, and I'm like,
yeah, well, it'll be a 21 cap. I ran it through the numbers.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, just because we're nice to people, we put on a couple classes, we got a goofball radio show. It's like, oh yeah, let's go sell the $50,000 package.
There were and then Scott was there last night.
Oh, Scott Buckle. Okay.
And he said, when he put up the list of the names of the businesses not to use, he said Fortune Builders tells us to use those names.
Oh, he's right.
I'm like, you're dead.
Wow. Welcome back. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Today we're talking about commercial lines of credit and banking. Actually, banks, commercial banks. So commercial banks, I can always tell a commercial bank when you walk in because there's always like some desks kind of in the lobby, and they have like one or two tellers, and you walk in, everyone kind of looks at you.
Right.
Like, hey, what?
Who are you?
What are you doing here? I don't recognize you.
And almost like in chorus, there were like 7, hello.
Hey,
everyone. Hey, how you doing? Everyone's saying hello. Hey, what's here?
They're like, somebody we don't know is here.
And the only other guy who walked in while we're there worked there. He walked in with a suitcase, everyone's waving, talking, and he walked right out. I'm like, okay, got it.
It's these little banks that they know all their customers, right? Because a lot of them are borrowers, or they bank with them for their business.
Sure.
And they see them once a week, once a month at least.
But they're going to put $100 million on the street, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So
exactly.
At 5%, they're fine.
Right? Yeah. So they walk in and like, who's this? What, can we help you? Like, yeah, we got a 230. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I know who you are. Okay. That's how you can tell you're at a commercial bank. It's not like Chase when you walk in and feel like a criminal.
Right. Oh my God. You feel like God.
We're running a terrorist operation according to Chase at this point.
According to Chase,
I'm running guns in Venezuela and you're doing something.
Yes, I'm trading women on the open market in Bangkok. Right.
Yeah. So
I'm like, come on.
You start opening up this many accounts with all these LLCs,
and
they start freaking out.
There's a level of Chase that we're going to get to, but And I love the woman I work with over Chase. I mean, and she just kind of looks at me and she's like, I know.
This is
I'm
terrible.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I just don't want to expose my liability. So I started another LLC, but I need to run money through that LLC. It makes sense to me, but I got to run it through. 3 weeks later, I finally get a bank account open.
Jeez.
So, but they're nice, and really, what we do, we love Chase because they're online.
Yeah, their online.
Their online bank is probably top notch, one of the best we've seen. But boy, walking in there, it's like.
Some of my local guys in Sugar Land are pretty good. The private banking client people keep calling me, and I'm like, I'm not going to have a conversation. I don't want to have a conversation about your investment stuff, and I'm like, I just don't care.
Yeah, I think it's because you know what's happening.
Mm-mm.
You're building those traffic patterns that I was talking about. That's why they want to reach out to you. And when we finally do work with Chase, it's going to be on the Morgan Stanley side.
Yeah, that's true. So, in any case, so banks so that's what a commercial bank looks like. You walk in, kind of a small little branch. There's some people like doing real work, right? And then they look up and they're like, hey, what can we do for you?
even at putting $100 million on the street, they probably have less than 200 clients. Oh, they probably know every single person.
I bet they know
every single property they're at. Yep.
Their loan officers probably know. Yeah, I bet they've got 25 per loan officer.
You know what's funny in there? We said, hey, well, just bring us to the kid meeting. She's like, oh, no, you're okay. So clearly, it was like someone super conservative back there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm not bringing the guy in the shorts and the T-shirt to the loan committee.
Yeah, we showed up in shorts and T-shirts yesterday.
It was muggy.
It was hot and it's raining. And it's so funny. This is one of those real estate guru things. Like when you go meet with a bank, you got to get the suit on and all that. I'm like, why? They're going to strip you down before you even.
You might as well go in there in just a bathrobe, right? Because that's just they're going to check everything out. Make it easy on you.
It's there's nothing flattering the human body in surgery. Right. With all those lights and everything, there's nothing flat. I don't care how gorgeous you look.
It's the worst color light,
It's the worst color light.
6,500 Kelvin, right?
It is absolutely awful. But in surgery, they have to be able to see everything, right? So that's what you're going to get from the banker. You might as well just show up in a kimono and that's it. Just say, all right.
Here I am.
Here we go.
Give me a loan. I know what I got to do.
Here's all my docs. I mean, you're not impressing anybody with your fake it till you make it nonsense. Like that's one crowd. In fact, bankers sniff that out so fast. Fake it till you make it nonsense. Yeah. Show up in your Lambo. Got my Lambo. Get out with my my fancy suit on. I'm going to impress a banker. Like you're not impressing those people. You know what impresses them? Your balance sheet. Your income statement. Right. That's what they don't
schedule of real estate.
Yeah, your schedule of real estate. They don't care what you're wearing, what car you drive, your nonsense, right? Your Facebook Lives and your radio shows, they just want to see. Send that balance sheet over to me there, buddy.
All right.
Send me that schedule of real estate. Show me how much equity you really got. What's your real net worth?
Yep. So we're developing those relationships again. We'd happily take some referrals. We want to meet with those folks. A couple other things. Let's do a little housekeeping. We have tomorrow's the last live Airbnb class I'll do.
Ooh.
That's it. Tomorrow's the last one. So text me at 281-401-9008. And then tonight at midnight, the $97 deal for Merrill Chandler's 2-day event that expires. It's going to go up to $147. So if you want to buy, if you haven't bought yet, it's tiny.cc/capital letters, all caps ARM. That's tiny.cc/capital A, capital R, capital M.
I bet if they texted you, you could probably pop that link in there.
I might just put it in the Facebook feed right now.
Okay. So this is Merrill Chandler. It's who we use for developing commercial lines of credit. So your credit profiles essentially hits the algorithm. You go through automatic underwriting instead of having a person sitting down and having to, do the underwriting.
Right.
And I'll explain why that is. This is really important. I had this thought this morning. One of the biggest challenges in banking right now is the world is turning from large asset capital expenditures for business to service-based. So a lot of technology has displaced finance at a very high level.
Yes.
In other words, if I wanted to start a company back in 20, 30, 40 years ago, and I want to start a trash hauling business. I got to buy trucks. I got to buy some real estate, lease some real estate. I've got to buy like all this stuff. What's so funny? I just that's it's a waste management.
If you did it in New Jersey, you would be investigated by the feds.
Oh, would you? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, so these businesses,
that's the wrong example.
Well, but all these businesses were capital intensive.
Don't
right?
tell Chase I'm into trash hauling. I'll never get my
account that's right.
open.
Hey, who's this guy from Jersey?
Jersey. He's got more vowels and consonants in his last name. He's a problem.
This guy's a problem. Yeah, I used to be in the waste business. We take care of some trash. I had a concrete business on the side too. Like, let's get this guy out of here.
I do property management.
I do property management. We get back from the break. I'm going to talk more about banking and why they're going to more sophisticated models. It's Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network.
You ever see Grosse Pointe?
Mm-mm.
Grosse Pointe Blank? John Cusack is the assassin.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, yeah.
So that song that we just heard, that's a song they're playing while they're trying to kill each other in the high school.
Oh, that's funny.
My favorite scenes. Me and my partner, we were trash consultants, right? And his name was Bono, B-O-N-O, nice. Same vowels, same consonants. I'm Orfino, 3 consonants, 3 vowels.
Nice.
And the DEP would take us in and just every 6 months. What are you guys doing?
What are you boys doing?
What are you guys doing? You don't have any trucks. How are you making money on waste?
Oh, nice.
Well, it's freaking arbitrage, you idiot. And I show them how to do it better. Just nonsense.
Yeah.
We had to hire an attorney, spend over $100,000 on it, and the reason was, because Mike's actually name was B-U-O-N-O, right? Three vowels, 2 consonants. But there was Michael Bono, B-O-N-O, who for sure was in the racketeering, all that world. They thought it was the same guy. We could never, ever, every contract, anytime, like Waste Management would drop dimes on us.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Hey, who are these guys?
What are they doing?
You got to check them out. We'd always get a phone call. We're like, you can't broker those contracts. Like, yes, we can.
Yeah.
It's called arbitrage.
Yeah, we totally do that. I tell the story when I used to do those weekend retreats. That buddy of mine, Ray. So whenever Ray would fly with us and we'd fly back, usually we'd go to Mexico, him and his girlfriend, me and Sarah. So we'd fly back into Houston. And he's Ray Torres Jr.
Right.
There's a Ray Torres that's like convicted of 5 murders.
Right.
So sure enough, like you can tell the experience of the Border Patrol agent when he comes, if the guy comes in with like the full tactical vest and the AR and all that stuff, he's usually a young guy. He's like, "Oh, sir, you need to stop right
10
there."
seconds.
If it's a more experienced guy, he walks up and goes, "Hey, man, I'm guessing you're not the guy that killed 5 people." And no, he goes, "All right, we just have to ask." And then they'd send him through customs. But it happens every time. It's so much fun. Drives him nuts.
There's a lot of YouTube videos on auditing the border guard. That's a good one, too.
Oh, I bet. Welcome back. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network.
I'm legit.
I'm legit. This topic of those YouTube videos came up during the podcast we did at D&T
Am I free to go? Are you detaining me?
I said Rob loves these First
Am I free
Amendment.
to go?
Yeah. Rob loves these they're called First Amendment audits, right?
First Amendment audits, so good. It's so good, right? Because then at some point, there is a big intimidating guy, and this guy ain't so bold anymore.
Yeah.
I'm leaving now. You can't stop me. I'm leaving now. I'm like, you can.
The voice gets real high.
It's a chest camera, right?
Oh,
so you only see the people they're interacting with, but you can hear like the voice level going up. And hey, you're harassing me. Hey, you're harassing me. And the cop's like, I don't know who you are. and you're walking back in front of a military installation, and I'm gonna figure out who you are. That's illegal. You can't. It's my Fourth Amendment right. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And they're wearing masks, right? So they wear like a black mask and a hoodie, and I'm like, they want to have the interaction.
Right.
They want the drama.
Yeah.
And then there's some that go to the border crossings. It's like, hey, and the guy's like, all he asks is, are you a U.S. citizen? And then the guy's like, am I free to go?
Oh, you're like, come on,
are you a U.S. citizen? He's like, I don't need to answer that question. We don't have, and I'm like, this isn't Nazi Germany. I'm like, oh my God. So, I really feel bad for the police because they get it from both extremes.
Oh, yeah.
The extreme right hates them for violating their rights, and the extreme left hates them because they figure they're oppressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So weaving that world must be so hard. So I don't mind when they make $32 an hour for overtime.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me if they're making $32 an hour sitting on the parade room. It's like, those guys deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just, no one wants to deal with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watch those First Amendment ones. I just love them because, and you can hear that, and you can hear the guy's getting nervous and he's breathing really loud into his microphone. I'm laughing so hard.
Yeah, because an adult shows up.
This is the federal institution of Waco, Texas. This is my First Amendment audit, and the guy starts running away, and like they do Exxon, and Exxon doesn't mess around. There's private security there with the AR strapped on their chest. He's like, he's got guns. I'm like, yeah, that's a $1 billion company that deals all around the world, some of the worst parts of the world, for sure. There's going to be issues.
And, since 9/11 and the implementation of some of those MARSEC security laws,
right?
They have to respond.
Yes.
You can't just have some random dude show up in front of your facility and not find out what's going on.
And there's a guy I think for sure lives in Houston because he did every place in Houston, right? Mm-hmm. And the cops now know him. They're like, oh, man.
This clown.
He's like, I seen your videos, man. Just get out of here. Just get out. I know he's like, you know who I am? I was like, you just get out of here. We don't get out of here. I seen your videos. So
First Amendment audits.
First Amendment audits. It's so crazy.
We'll do that real estate audits. We're going to figure something out.
Oh, yeah, we got to do it. We got to go to open houses and just destroy, like, the assistant agent.
You need to, so there was a big, long post on lab coat agents on Facebook, and they said, what do you do when somebody doesn't want to sign in? Because you're supposed to sign in.
Right, yeah.
Well, I'm not doing that. It's my First Amendment right. I don't have to sign in.
Yeah, I'm not going to sign in.
Am I being detained here? Here's this poor agent, brand new.
Not even like, well, now in Texas, they have to be an agent. They're brand new.
She's like 23. She's like, who's this for?
Right. It's not her listening. She saw the email come through, and the email's like, make tons of money. I'll give you blah, blah, blah. So she went to the listing, and she's getting harassed. Yeah, let's go harass agents. I'm going to do videos on that. I'm going to walk in with a hoodie and a mask, my camera.
Oh, my camera.
I'm like, I want to see the CO. I want to see the certificate of occupancy right now, or I'm not buying this house.
Yeah, she's like, they just told me to just be here and talk to the listing and talk to buyer appointment.
Anyway, if you are a commercial banker, I'm telling you, we are a viable asset. You definitely don't forget what you just heard for the last 5 minutes. We're absolutely real people. We're not going to come to your bank and harass you.
Oh, we're going to do bank audits now.
Bank audits, yeah. I want to see if there's a real ballpoint pen.
I was chatting with somebody at Quest one day, and I said, do you guys have all that money like sitting in the back there somewhere? Is there like a big vault? Everyone's like, no, we keep it in a bank. I was like, I know that. I'm just being cute.
Cutesy.
Yeah, I want to see I want to see the cash in my IRA. Can I see it?
Can I see it, please?
Can I see it right now?
I just want to pet it, and then I'll leave.
And then I just want to put my hands on it and then make sure it's still here. Oh, your specific dollars. Oh, yeah, we have those right over here.
Right over here.
They have to have that entire building just to house all the money, right?
I just say one last thing on those First Amendment ones because Catherine just signed on. I watch them like at 10:30 right before I'm going to bed, and I'm just laughing. And she leans over and looks. She's like, "Why do you watch that stuff?" I'm like, it's hilarious. It's just absolutely hilarious, right? So anyway, we live in a crazy world. Like I said, we're just I think that anyway, forget it. Back to the commercial stuff. Mm-hmm. That small apartment, so as we were explaining to her, that 5 to 100 units we still think is wide open for folks. Mm-hmm. We'll grab the...
You're reading text messages on air?
Yeah, because they want to close a commercial deal in 6 days.
Oh,
that's that guy.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And I said, okay, then I want it for half.
Yeah, they probably don't want that either, right?
Right, no, they don't want that either.
Yeah, we get these wholesalers that send us commercial deals, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's a great deal. Can you close in 2 weeks? No, we're not closing in 2 weeks.
No, I'm not closing a commercial deal. I need 120 days. What are you kidding me?
I need it.
At least 60.
And this is a little bit smaller deal, but it's like, we need a survey. I can't even get a survey back fast enough and have title review it, their underwriters review it. Although, Pat now, their underwriters are in-house, so it's a little bit different. But it's like, dude, we're not closing something in 6 days. Chill out. It's okay. Unless it's like a crazy stellar deal, we can close in 24 hours. I've closed deals in less than 24 hours before. Somebody brought us a deal, crazy good deal.
Yep.
I made a couple phone calls. Title was already open. bang, we closed it the next day. I've done one same day. It was crazy, but
we don't need the stress.
Yeah, but it's got to be an insanely good deal, like insane. Otherwise, I'm just like you said. It's like when we were having the conversation about the 7 units of Montrose, right? And I think the wholesaler was kind of surprised when we said, "Yeah, we'll get back to you like Monday or Tuesday."
Yeah, I need to send my foundation guy over.
Yeah, we're just
because this is not a single family 1,200 square foot house.
No, this is a $1.3 million project, and I'm like, well, and he kind of looked at me. He's like, "Well, that makes sense." I'm like, "Dude, we got a lot of stuff going on."
Yeah. So anyway, we can get the guy to walk it. We're going to try and get the foundation guy out there Tuesday.
No, to take a look at it since all the
I think Tuesday we
stuff.
can do that one in the House in the Heights.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because we got the other house in the Heights.
Yeah, we definitely got a long close on that, but let's not forget that. I moved a couple up the board and turned them to yellow the other day. So
we're at $8.22 million in real estate under contract or closed since September of this year.
We'll probably be at 10 by the end of the month.
We're getting sent stuff. We got another $1 million deal last night. That'll be that one that got sent over to me would be $1 million, or that Catherine's got be $1 million.
Yep.
So that's a pretty little sweet one. And then I'm looking at 10 acres in Sugarland right now, but I'm not. It's listed on MLS. Not sure. Do we do the development stuff? I don't know. I just hadn't decided what we're going to do with that. I looked at that and I'm like, ooh, 10 acres in Sugarland. And it's like north Sugarland. It's right near Stafford.
See if we can get an option on it.
We might be able to do that.
Get an option, because we need to breathe a little bit here.
Buying a lot of stuff.
Hey, guys, are we out?
No? We got one more segment.
One more segment? All right.
Yeah, one more.
Hey, this is Robert and Jason here at the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We're going to be back. I love Devo.
But this is called Gut Feeling and Spank Your Mammy or something?
Yeah, Gut Feeling and Slap Your Mama.
Slap Your Mama.
They were punk.
All right.
They truly believe, like they're 18 years old. They have this real belief that the de-evolution of human beings was happening around them. That's Devo, de-evolution.
You're talking about those guys going to the border and stuff on live PD.
Yeah.
Watch. If they come up to a car and some guy does that, they're constitutionalists or whatever.
Mm-hmm,
they have this piece of paper. The cop stops and says, "I need a supervisor."
Yep.
And they need support because these guys are carrying guns and all that shit. Poor guys. I sympathize with them.
What a horrible... The way we treat them is absolutely horrible.
My uncle was chief of police in our little town.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad gig, right?
That was 50s and 60s. There wasn't a black person within 3 miles.
Chief Wallace was our guy. My roommate, fraternity brother's father was chief of police.
Okay.
Good old Chief Wallace.
1 minute.
In a town that had a 3-person police force.
Oh, yeah, we had one car.
Right?
It's great. Yeah. Cops knew everybody.
Yep.
Everybody knew everybody.
Actually, this is a very interesting little town. It was a socialist town.
Ooh.
Oh, huh.
The town owned all the property and all the land.
Really?
And you would have to apply to basically lease it.
Huh.
And then you would be responsible. You'd have civic duties you'd have to do and it was a really unique place. It was built in the 20s, very specifically for the workers who built the Verrazano Narrow Bridge.
Oh, cool.
It was built for the bridge, and then the tunnel workers, and then the Empire State workers. This is where they lived.
Interesting.
It's like a coal town.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Talking about lines of credit and banks.
That's what we're talking about today.
Well, we were talking about First Amendment audits earlier. You got to entertain yourself from time to time. I was chatting with my dad last night, and he said, "It seems like you're having a whole lot more fun than you used to have." I'm like, yes, this is way better. Like the last 6 months, it's like things are, this is so much more fun. So you got to have a little fun. It can't be real estate all the time. A little edutainment here for you folks on Friday.
Absolutely.
So we will share with you what we're watching on YouTube. I'll tell you what, David Goggins interview with
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan was really, really good. I haven't been able to watch anything lately. Well, the last week or so, a couple since the weekend. So I'll see if I can find something good on the old YouTubes. You see something that algorithms is so good in YouTube, and you just start popping. And I notice it changes depending on what time I'm there.
Oh,
like
interesting.
They have figured out that during this time of day, I like to listen to this kind of music versus interviews and podcasts and all that other stuff. So I just drop everything into the watch later. And I've got YouTube Premium on here.
Yeah, it's good.
It's awesome. So then when my phone's within, earshot of Wi-Fi, I open up YouTube and it downloads all my watch later. So then even if I run out of Wi-Fi or if I run out of bandwidth, what do you call it? If I don't get a good signal, like for down at Surfside, it just runs and,
So what I do is before I get on a plane, I download all the videos.
Oh, yeah.
And then I don't have to pay for the Wi-Fi on the plane, and I just watch my videos.
Just watch your videos, yeah. It's pretty decent.
So this is this weekend let's do a little housekeeping. So tomorrow is the very last live Airbnb one-day workshop, at least for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
We do have recordings of the first one and the second one, so we'll be able to sell those sort of on demand. But it's $97. Text me at 281-401-9008 if you're interested in that. You should get at least 2 emails today on that, so look at that. And then tiny, tiny.cc/ capital, all caps, capital A, capital R, capital M, if you're interested in coming to Merle's 2-day boot camp. That was, I think every audience he blew away.
Oh, yeah.
Just every audience was like, we all see it. We all get it now.
So I will tell you this. I made a post yesterday on Facebook, and there's a lot of guys that have been in this business and gals for a couple of years now that are really successful, and they're always asking me, what are you working on? What are you doing next? This is one of the things we're doing.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to be there along with us, like Rob and I are going to be in the class.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to be right there, sitting right next to you guys. So this is one thing that we're learning and we're getting better at. It's one thing that's helping us expand our business. So send Rob a text, 281-401-9008, and sit next to us and come along the journey with us.
Absolutely. And remember, tomorrow's a webinar, so you don't have to drive.
Yeah, no driving tomorrow.
All right. Be safe, everyone. Stay dry. Have a great weekend and have some fun.